Hello, my name is Krislyn Mattei, and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor as well as a content contributor for the Creative Memories home office. I have been playing a lot with the Iron Gate border punch, and I just love what this thing can do. You can have so many different kinds of borders and possibilities with an architectural style punch like this, and it's just been really fun to try it out and see the things that it can do. So today I have a layout that I'd like to share with you, and we're going to make the layout using the Serenity collection. So to create with me, you're going to need the Serenity designer paper, variety mats, and some stickers, embellishments, things like that. You'll want, of course, the Iron Gate border punch, the 12-inch trimmer, and you'll want your adhesives, especially your repositionable tape runner. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to make today. We're going to make, I made this layout already using the Cue the Blue collection. And I just love how you can take these borders and you can miter the joints and put them together in a cube, and they just really create a cool pattern. So today we're going to try that out. And again, I'll be demonstrating it using the Serenity collection. I thought that would be a lot of fun. This is kind of a zen-y kind of layout, and I thought that might look really cool with the Serenity papers. So what I've done is I've chosen some papers that I think will look great together. I'm going to use this kind of neutral white with kind of lavender spatters on it as the base. And then I chose 3 colors that I want to create my cubes. Okay, so I've got all of that set, and that's going to be about all we need for now. The first thing we're going to do is make those border cubes. So I've got my 3 pieces of paper here that I'm going to use. And the way we're going to do this, I'll just cut a couple of borders from each color. And to use this punch, you want to just slide your paper into the back and align it with one of the little black marks on the front. So align it all the way to the back and punch, and then slide it over until the pattern matches up with the pattern on the arm of the punch. And this little triangle here kind of helps to guide you as well. So now we're just going to cut this border off of the paper. So what you want to do is line your paper up so that your pattern just clears the cutting line, and you're going to line it up at just about 7/16. And you're going to barely see the line of the 16th showing up right here. And that's how you know that you've got it kind of in the right place. You just want the same amount showing on each side, and you can use your little sight guides to make sure you're in the ballpark. But just a hair under the 7/16 is what you're looking for. And you'll cut that piece off. Okay, so it's going to look just about like this. And we'll punch one more out of this color. I don't have much left of this paper. It's one of my favorites. So I'm using it as judiciously as I can here. All right, so I used the back to help line it up since you can't really see it very well. And we'll just do the same thing. And hope I don't make mistakes, because this is all the paper I have of this color. So it's a good layout to use up some scraps. All right, now we'll cut this one off as well. Again, looking to make this about 1 7/16. And again, you're just going to line it up so that you can barely see the line on the 7/16 line on the side. Just making sure that looks good. Oh, it's moving on me. It's a problem when you don't have much of that paper left. Okay, I think we'll be just fine. All right, so we've got our 2 pieces of paper from this color. And here's where we want to use either a ruler or the 13-inch cutting mat. So first of all, we're going to cut the little corners off these pieces. So we're just going to line it up on the 45-degree angle right at the very tip. And just make sure you've got that tip right on the cutting mark. Let me hold this up so you can see. You want to be right on that 45-degree line and right where the tip is at that cutting mark. If you can make sure that all of your cuts are about the same, it's going to make your mitered corners really work well. So you've got a really beautiful mitered corner. Now we're just going to rotate to the other side and do the same thing. You can line that up. And here again, you've got your little sight guides that you can use if you need to. And cut carefully, and you've got 2 nice pieces, 2 nice corners like this. We're going to do the same thing with this other piece. Rotate and do the other side. Okay. So now we're going to go back over here and we're going to line this up. We're going to flip it over to the back side and we're going to line it up. Take one of those little corners and put it up at the very corner there, and we're just going to mark off at 4 inches. We're going to place a mark. So you can see we've just measured 4 inches and placed a mark. Now I'm just going to rotate this along to the other side and I'm going to do the same thing. And remember, we're using the reverse side of our border at this point. Okay, that one's ready to go. Now we'll do the same thing with this one. Line it up 4 inches and make your mark. Rotate around to the other side. Four inches and make a mark. Okay. Now we can just go back to the trimmer and we're going to lay the piece still on the reverse side, and you're going to lay it on the 45-degree line, and you're going to find that the bottom corner is going to rest kind of right below the 45 that's printed there. And you're going to find your little 4-inch mark, and you're just going to line that up exactly where the cutting is, and make sure you've got that right at the 4-inch mark, and you can cut your piece off. And now you've got a piece that looks like this. Okay, and we're going to rotate around and we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So again, we're right below the 45, printed over here. We line this up so that our mark is right at, whoops, be careful that you don't move it. And cut. You're going to have a bunch of these left over, so if you did want to make more, you will have some pieces left. I chose to do both sides of a piece because I wanted them to all be kind of identical. And so if we use some in the middle, it's not going to be lined up quite the same way. And so I just chose to use both ends instead. And the more careful you can be with this step, the the nicer your borders are going to look. Rotate it around, and we will cut the last one here. Okay, so you're going to want to do this with all of your papers. To save time, I actually already cut my other two colors. So here's what we have. You're going to want to have 4 each of 3 different colors. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces cut, and now we can bring back our base page and we can build our little cubes. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat to help with my adhering. And then we just want to decide how we want these to look. So I'm thinking that I might want to put my lightest color, my tan color, in the middle. And if you're doing this on your 13-inch cutting mat, it's really helpful because then you can really see where you're at. And I'm going to start with my middle piece. So I kind of arrange them right between the 4 and the 8. And then you can arrange your other ones next to it. So if you just kind of get them in position so you know where they're going to go, and you can decide on colors and make sure it's what you want. I think this is going to look really cool. I think it would look really neat with really dramatic colors too. The Silver and Gold collection, the Our Moments collection. I mean, some of them would look really neat with this. So once you get your pattern kind of figured out, then you can start taping down. And again, I would start with this very bottom piece so that we get that one aligned the way we want. And you just have to be kind of careful when you're putting tape on these because they're really delicate little edges. Okay, so I've got this piece and I'm going to line it up right at 4 inches between the 4 and the 8. So get this all lined up carefully, and then you can start doing your other pieces. I'm going to bring in my ruler as well, just so I can kind of line it up at the 4-inch mark here so that I get it right where I want it. So now this piece is again going to be between the 4 and the 8. So let's just get that lined up. And if you're using repositionable tape, which I hope you are, because these are really fussy little pieces, you'll be able to pick things up and move them around a little bit too if it's not exactly how you want it. And now you should be able to just sort of piece it together. And you might have to finesse it just a little bit. Nothing is exactly perfect all the time. But you get the idea. And you can even take your ruler here too and just line it up between the two and just make sure that you're kind of in the ballpark. Okay, so this is good for now, and we'll just go and move on to the next pieces. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you are, I would love it if you would hit subscribe and ring the bell so that you're notified the next time I post a video like this. You can also follow me on my Facebook page, which is Krislyn Mattei, Creative Memories Independent Advisor. And I post other ideas and my upcoming events and things like that on that. So it's kind of a good thing to stay in the know of all things creative memories. I love how this actually forms kind of a little heart in the corners. I thought that was just kind of one of those little happy discoveries. Love those little hearts. Okay, it's coming together. One more color. Okay, we've got the hard part all finished. It's kind of looking cool, isn't it? I love the effect of those little cubes. So now it's time to kind of finish the layout. I'm going to bring this one back in. So what we did on this one, the reason I thought of using Q the Blue initially was because I remembered these embellishment tiles. And I thought they'd look really cool in the center of the cubes. So that's kind of what informed my whole decision to use that collection. So we're going to do something similar, but I'm going to use some of the stickers and things from the Serenity collection that I think would work really well. And I've got my eye on these 3 stickers, and I thought that they would match really well in the middle. So let's take a look at that. We've got, I think that's going to be really cool. So those are just going to kind of match. And I'm just going to use a foam square to pop it up. Oops. And just place it right in the center of that little square in the middle. I love that. One more. So this is how I chose the colors. Again, I was just using, looking at the sticker pack and decided that matching the colors of these stickers would really be cool on this layout. So now we've got a really cool start. And I think what we're going to do next, so that, again, the original has a strip of paper here, a couple strips of paper. And I think I've got a 1/2 inch strip and then a 5/8 inch strip behind it. And so if you don't, the Q the Blue collection didn't have a whole lot of extra embellishments or stickers that went with it. So I just chose to kind of add other papers. But I think it works really well when you've got all the different embellishments and stickers that we have with this collection to do something fun. So I could do, for instance, something like this. Or I could bring, these are, excuse me, the laser borders. I could bring in the stickers and do something with the stickers. I mean, really, you can do a lot of different things. So let's first get our photos in place. And what I was thinking I would do here is just use a couple of the 4.5 by 6.5 inch photo variety mats. And those are going to go up here. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these stickers right over here. So if these aren't lining up perfectly, it really won't matter if you're going to cover a little bit of it up anyway. So I'm just going to place these. I want as much of it to show, the cubes to show as possible. I'm just going to place it up at the top, but this will just add kind of a nice little earthy vibe to the layout. And then I'm going to tape these in place. Now you could really have your photos do anything. If if you're trying to fit a whole bunch of photos on this page, you've got this section to work with, and you might choose something different. I'm just going with what looks pleasing and what I think I might want to use in the future. And usually there's a good chance I'm going to have a vertical photo. I'm going to have another photo that I can crop a little bit, and then I'm going to do some journaling. So I don't need a lot of room for it, but I'm also thinking of what I might do as my second page. So probably for the second page layout, I mean, I could repeat the cubes all the way across the layout, but I might decide that I really want this page to kind of stand out on its own, and then this side would be more for photos. So I could tell more of the photo story with that second page. And this one is just, dramatic enough that it'll cover both sides. I could even take, on the second side, I could just punch one of these iron gate borders and either put it on the top or put it along the side of the second page. And I think that would tie the two in together really well. So then I think I'm going to lay this one on top, and I'm going to add my photos on top of this. So this will go like this, and then let's pretend these are my photos. So I've got a 4x6 photo here. Just stick this on. And that'll fit nicely right here. And then if I crop this one, either a horizontal or vertical photo, crop it to 4 inches and place it right here, then I've got a little bit of this kind of tied in with this. I've got a couple photos, and then I can spend a little time working on my embellishments. So you can see I kept the embellishments very simple with Cue the Blue. There aren't that many, to be honest, but I used a few tiles. This was a variety mat that had a title on it, and then I just used a few epoxy stickers just to kind of set it off. There's so much going on here. I really wanted to keep it simple. And I'm going to keep this pretty simple as well. I think I just want to add a couple of stickers and tie things up, and I will be right back to show you what I come up with. Okay, here's what I came up with. I kept it really, really simple. I just wanted to be able to have a little bit of a title and just something really relaxing to complete the page. I really didn't want to overdo it on embellishments because there's just a lot going on right here. And I also think if I'm doing a second page to the layout, I will probably be adding some more embellishments on the other side so we can kind of get that nice triangle going across, and add a little bit more over here, and I think it'll all come together really well. So I'm really pleased with that. I think that turned out really, really nice. Let's bring the Cue the Blue back too and take a look. So we've got just a really simple cubed border, 4 inches by 4 inches for each, a little embellishment here, and then we use 2 variety mats that are the large size, room for one 4x6 photo and one 4x4. and another 4x6 variety mat, just kind of helping to embellish. So I hope you enjoyed this layout, and I hope you'll give it a try. It's pretty specific to the Iron Gate border punch, but if you do find that you try this with another border punch and get it to work out well too, please be sure to let me know what you've tried out in the comments. It's always fun to see variations on an idea. So again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you next time.